Good evening. I first beg your indulgence to my growling voice. You heard it a while ago. I used to sound a lot different. But I have got paralysis of the vocal cords, and so it makes me sound a little old. First of all, I want to thank Dean Nance for those kind and flattering remarks. And I want to thank Chancellor Gerhard for the presentation of the Silas Hunt Award. I recently became the victim of this paralysis, and so I'm going to live with it and do what I can. Protocol dictates that all important persons associated with this affair should be acknowledged and saluted. But as you can see, the honorees and other persons are directed to make their acceptance remarks brief as possible. So I'm kind of like the little newspaper reporter who wrote exceptionally long articles because he didn't want to leave out anything important. Well, the newspaper transferred him to the obituary. His first obituary column went something like this: the engine of John Jones' car stopped. He lit a match to see if he had any gas. He did. He was 65. I don't know whether I can identify all the important things that I need to say with this kind of brevity, but I will try. To all the dignitaries and invited guests and all my friends, and especially my wife Pamela and my daughter Crystal and my son Justin, salute. It is fitting that the Silas Hunt Legacy Award be presented at a banquet, because the breaking of bread together is the highest form of fellowship. The legacy started in 1948. One tiny little acorn, Silas Hunt, enrolled in the law school on Monday, February the 2nd, 1948. That was Groundhog Day. And history records that he saw his shadow. And according to the sitting Arkansas Governor, Ben Laney, hell froze over. Because it is reputed that he said before a Negro would go to the University of Arkansas, hell would freeze over. Well, the groundhog saw his shadow that day, and it took 40 years before the first significant official acknowledgement of the 1948 event. However, don't you sinners take solace, because I haven't heard that hell froze over. So you might be going down. Don't be trying to go down there, because the fiery furnace is still burning. In 1988, Mercer, and that's the acronym for the Black Law Students Association, sponsored the first Silas Hunt Legacy program. At that time, the idea of the 6 pioneers was first born. That's the first 6 black students that enrolled in the university. Of those 6, only George Haley and myself are living. The first was Silas Hunt in February of 1948, Jackie Shropshire in September of 1948, George Haley and myself in September of 1949, with the only 2 living, Wiley Brandon in February of 50, and the late Judge George Howard in September of 50. Mighty oaks from little acorns grow. That simply means that great things may come from small beginnings. It's been 60-some years since the first enrollee, and it's my understanding that we've had more than 40,000 black students to attend the university. What I would like to do, for those of us who are my ethnic hue that went to the university, had some involvement with the university, if you'll just stand where you are for 10 seconds. There's all the black students who are here tonight who've had some involvement with the university. Though I cannot see out there, I think you can see that the multitude goes on. The legacy is now a mighty oak, and I hope that it will stand majestic forever out of the accomplishments of the University of Arkansas in the state of Arkansas. And I hope it has longevity longer than 1,000-fold of how long Methuselah lived. I am deeply honored by virtue of the award that you are giving me, and I only make one humble suggestion to the committee, that in the spirit of diversity, which you say you are promoting, that we ought to expand the recipients to other ethnic groups. In the beginning, it said that there had been 18 recipients. Technically, it has been 20 recipients. 2 received theirs by themselves. Now, my years on the campus was made a lot better by virtue of me having some white friends. That's the reason I make the suggestion that the awards ought to be expanded, because up to now, 20 of us who've received these awards all have been black. And Dr. Robinson, you're Vice Chancellor for Diversity. I make that humble recommendation to you. I probably have been much too verbose in my appreciation. And so in the spirit of the reporter who wrote the first obituary, I leave you with this admonition. 6 of the greatest words ever spoken by 3 of the greatest men to ever live. Socrates said, know thyself. Cicero said, control thyself. Jesus Christ says, give thyself. Dr. Robinson, if you would come forward, please. I, Christopher C. Mercer, Jr., make this gift a legal farm book owned originally by Silas Hunt in 1948, and then owned by me from 1949 to April 13, 2012. I would like for this to be a memento kept in the archives of the Silas Hunt Executive Committee. It's been used real good, so it's kind of fragile. They were kind enough to indulge me in one other thing. My baby daughter, Crystal Mercer, almost named after me, is one of the finest poets I've ever known. And she has a poetic gesture that she wants to dedicate to the Silas Hunt Committee Award. Hear her, Crystal Mercer.
Thank you, Daddy. Good evening, everybody. It is a great honor to express poetic words for the occasion, and my piece is called On the Hunt for Justice. The residents of time, from the micro-existence of creation to present manifestations, believe the great kings and queens were descendants of the gods that reigned supreme, giants of humanity, commanding change by the wave of their hands or the whisper of a name, calling on the symmetry of the universe. And on this trail to forge balance and equality within the hearts and minds of all mankind, of every creature that lingers in the creases of life, there was passion in their pursuit. On the hunt for justice, the seeds of Silas sprouting serendipitously throughout us and about us, among the population of the world, to nourish our tastes with delectable fruits, bearing seeds, blooming into trees, from Texas to Ohio in the rigid American breeze. The great kings and queens are among us still, gathering their fruit in the northern hills of the natural state, yet unnatural causes await, in their centers for knowledge, on their courts of athletic display. There were times these trees had to bend in order to mend the brokenness of man, harvesting hatred, victims of resentment. And yet, they yielded love and attempted to bear fruit absent of the youth hanging from the popular trees. In their experience of the rigid American breeze, their limbs linked with the audacity of hope, and hope was born. For the sun, not hate, was the center of the universe, and their light spread all over the world. We honor the fruit of royalty. On the hunt for justice, they scattered their seeds about the earth, planting peace, passion, tenacity, planting decency, an element essential for humanity. And for the seed that planted me, I, a Mercer, fruit from his tree, a giant lending his hands to balance the scales of justice for years on end, blooming into this season of action. My duty, my divinity by birth, is to place my hands atop my Father's hands, on the many hands that weigh righteousness on an equal plane, to be a keeper of the scales and to always work for positive change on my hunt for justice, so that we, as a global community, may continue to plant the seeds of future kings and queens. Thank you very much.